Let's listen to a story about a man who couldn't ask for directions, so had the longest commute home in history to his beloved Penelope. So let's hear the story of Odysseus and the Odyssey.
Hi, mortals. It is I, Odysseus, the greatest king of Ithaca, best soldier of ancient Greece. Need a monster squatting? I'm your man. Got a tricky puzzle that needs solving. Hey, that's me too. Quick tip. Leave the sky bits to the end. They all look the same. I'm so good with a sword, I once sliced a loaf of bread in half. Yeah, baby. Listen, kids, 10 years at war, total headache and missing the wife back home, Penelope. Told her I was just nipping out with the boys for a bit of pillaging. So I told the boys, let's build a giant pony and hide in it as a present, then jump out at night, let the rest of the boys in. Who doesn't like presents? Yeah! Sure, building it took forever, but did it? Yeah, it did. The Trojans just rolled it straight through the gates. Then, surprise, and the rest, as they say, is history. I sail away from Troy with the boys heading back home. After 10 years away, it's then I remembered Penelope. She will be so mad at me. As I don't think I put the bin out before I left. I was in such a rush, it just popped out my mind. I'll get her some flowers from that florist she likes and a nice box of chocolates. We stopped off at this cute little island of humorous for some groceries and boat snacks and met up with the locals, the Ciconians. But who would have thought that looting was frowned upon around here? So minor change to plan, run back to the boat. Note to self, next time, do a order in advance. So needless to say, we didn't make a good first impression. So we just headed back home with off-brand groceries, when all of a sudden a storm of epic proportion hit us and blew us off course. We was lost, big style. So we found ourselves lost in a strange land where the locals ate lotus flowers. Trust me, giving off hippie vibes big style, which they gave the lads to eat, and trust me, these leaves are not for export. So the guys started falling asleep and forgetting about going home. So I did the only thing I could. I carried them back on the boat, and we headed off back to sea. So after sailing for a few days, we ended up on a nice beach. There was a big cave we could see on the hill, so we went to check it out. Sheep everywhere and loads of cheese. Just wish I had some crackers and a bottle of wine. But no one was home. We just wanted to say hi. Like you do, don't want to be rude. We're not the Spartans. When all of a sudden a huge Cyclops walks in, going off about not taking our shoes off when we came in. And all the crumbs on the floor. Such a diva. We said we would tidy up before leaving, but no. All he wanted was to know my name. I'm not telling him who I am. He's a stranger, so I said my name's Nobody. He was like, okay, nobody, you're not leaving till you tidied up the mess. I was like, what mess? So that night I got a stick, I stuck it right in his eye. Boy, did he scream. Other Cyclops arrived, asked him if he was okay. He shouted out, nobody's hurting me. So they left all confused. The next day, when he was letting out the sheep, we sneaked out and ran back to the ship. So as we were sailing away, I thought, I'm never going to see this guy again. So I shouted out, my name isn't Nobody. Stupid, it's Odysseus. I mean, come on, how was I supposed to know his dad was Poseidon, god of the sea? So we sailed on until we reached the island of King Aeolia. Had a bit of a chit-chat over dinner, and he gave us a bag of wind. And not the wind your dad lets off after dinner when he tells you to pull his finger. So we said our goodbyes and left. Used the bag to blow on the sails. We could see home on the horizon. But then the lads decided to look in the bag, thinking it had Pokemon cards in it or something. Only for it to blow us all way back to King Aeolia. He was not best pleased to see us again and set us back to sea. So then, if things couldn't get any worse, we pulled into the harbor of the Lastrygonians. A mouthful, I know. I don't make these names up. They're in the book. Read it if you don't believe me. These are massive giants who we later found out are not friendly at all. They smashed all but one of my boats up on the rocks. We was lucky to survive, trust me. So then we landed on Circe's island. I sent half the lads to go and look for food, and the rest stayed with me fixing the ship. When one of the lads came running back, saying a witch had turned the guys into pigs. I know, right? How? So I set up to sort it out and bumped into Hermes, the messenger of the gods. He gave me the herb Molly and said to eat it, then the witch's spells wouldn't work on me. It tasted like pear drops. Nice. So I got to Cersei's place, sat down, had dinner. She was surprised that I didn't change into a pig like the other guys. I told her to change them back or she would be in so much trouble. Hey, and credit to her, she turned the lads back to humans. We all had dinner, had a laugh about it, then we left again to go home. Cersei did give me one bit of advice before I left, and that was I had to go visit the underworld and the blind prophet. So off we set. So we arrived at the underworld, and it stinks like feet if you've never been. To meet the blind prophet Tiresias, we had a quick chat, blah blah, and I was told to make sure we didn't harm the sun god's cattle, or death would follow to whoever harmed them. All that way, and that's it. So off to sea we went again, trying to get home. So on the way home, we swing round the place we had been told where the sirens live. I thought it would be a good idea to listen to them, but seeing they kill you if you hear them. I got the guys to tie me to the mast, and for them to fill their ears with beeswax so they couldn't hear anything. It was like a Olivia Rodrigo meets Iron Maiden. Oh my god, so good. So back to sea after the sirens. With a wicked tune in my head, it lasted weeks, and we came across Charybdis, a giant whirlpool, and on the other side, Scylla, a six-headed sea monster. Talk about a rock and a hard place. So what do? All the crew in the ship get destroyed, or 6 of the lads get eaten by Scylla. Tough call, but hey, the story can't end here. And we had triple-star insurance, but not on water damage. So I had to pick 6 lads to sit on the left side of the boat to get eaten. Tough choice, so I did it on personnel hygiene. Don't be judgy. We've been on this boat for years now. So after dropping 6 of the lads off at Hades bad, we landed at the island of Thrinacia, home of the sun god's cattle. I gave the lads one rule, nothing else. Don't eat the cattle, as Tiresias had said. So what did they do while I was asleep? Yip kebabs. Give me strength. So I got the lads together, and off we shot, hoping no one would notice. But no, Helios the sun god saw it all, and he was so mad. He went to Zeus's house and said, "They done it, Zeus. They have killed my cattle. I was going to show in the annual God Cattle Show next week. Can you sort out your humans or make them vegan or something so they don't do it again?"
I am Zeus, the king of the gods. Tremble before my power.
So Zeus overreacted like all gods do, and destroyed the ship and killed everyone on board apart from me. Thanks, man. So for 9 days I was holed up on a piece of the boat until I washed up on a little island and met the cutest goddess of them all, Calypso. She helped me get better, and as things do, she ended up becoming the side piece. Hope Penelope doesn't find out. So after a while I said I have to go home. I've been away for ages and the dog needs walking. But no, Calypso was like, no, you're not. So I was stuck on the island. But what I didn't know at the time, the goddess Athena went and had a word with Zeus and kept going on about how Calypso was keeping me captive. Go, Athena. So Zeus was like, for 5 minutes of peace, I'll send Hermes down to tell her to release him and help him make a boat so he can go home. Thanks, Athena. Love ya. So didn't know this at the time, but Poseidon was still mad at what we did with the Cyclops eye. Get over it already, but he didn't. So he made a massive storm that smashed the ship to pieces. Great. Thanks, man. Good job I could swim. So I washed up on the shores of the Phaeacians and was found by the princess and her maids and taken to the king. He put on a great spread for me. He asked me who I was, but I didn't want to tell him after the whole Poseidon Cyclops thing. As the evening went on, a poet started to tell tales of the Battle of Troy and how Odysseus was dead. Sorry, what? Let me put you guys straight. I'm Odysseus. So I told them how I've been trying to get home to Penelope. So the next day, after hearing my story and being so impressed he had a hero from the Trojan Wars in his palace, he lent me one of his ships and its crew to get home, and as I landed at Ithaca, Athena stopped me to warn me of how bad my home was and full of men wanting to marry Penelope. As I ran home through the olive trees, the dog was still waiting for me to take it for a walk. I patted it on the head and it dropped dead. Give me a break, not the dog as well. So I walked in, didn't tell anyone I was home. The house was full of guys wanting my house and wife. I asked one of them why Penelope had never married. He said that it was because she was waiting for Odysseus to come home, and she would not marry until she had finished weaving his death robe. But she had been found out taking it to pieces overnight. So she had made another task. Any man who can shoot an arrow through some axes using Odysseus' bow can marry her. But no one had managed it yet. So the evening came and many suitors had tried to shoot the arrow, but they just weren't strong enough to pull the bow back. Then it was my turn. I pulled my old bow back, shot the arrow straight through the axes. Penelope came over. I told her who I was. She was like, yeah, okay, whatever. If you are Odysseus, go and put my bed in the courtroom. I was like, what? Are you joking? One of the bedposts is an olive tree. The bed can't be moved. It was at this point Penelope realized it was me and fell into my arms, and we fell in love again. The end. Well, I think I got away with the whole Calypso incident. Thanks for not telling. You're amazing.